Ah, brotherly love, a tale as old as time. But when it comes to anime, these brotherly battles are taken to a whole other level. These battles aren't about power, but about honor and vengeance, not to mention all the pent-up emotions. Here are the best brother versus brother fights in anime. Starting off this list, we have Star-Jun and Toriko from Toriko, who aren't just brothers, but are also rivals. These two brothers are both phenomenal chefs, but their motives are very different, which is the main reason behind their never-ending conflict. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Throughout the series, their encounters have been one of the most thrilling and intense ones. The most memorable clash took place during the cooking festival arc, when the Gourmet Corp crashed the party, aiming to kidnap chefs and steal rare ingredients. Has the Master Chef episode gone horribly wrong? Definitely. This led to a full-scale battle between the two brothers who let it loose, not caring about their surroundings. Now, Toriko and Star-Jun's combat style are as different as night and day. Toriko relies on brute strength with his signature techniques like fork, knife, and leg knife. On the other hand, Star-Jun fights with an elegant and deadly flame knife, which can also slice through steel. While Toriko charges in raw power, Star-Jun's moves are precise and controlled. When these two brothers face off, it's always an exciting, explosive showdown that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Ah yes, the anime where your fellow Yakuza are more precious to you than your own flesh and blood. We're talking about the two brothers Daiju Shiba and Hakkai Shiba, who have a complicated relationship as brothers. You see, Daiju walks around like he's the top dog, the alpha Yakuza, the big kahuna if you like. Basically, he's his own fan club president. But under all of that tough guy exterior, there's a heart that beats. Daiju constantly looks down upon his brother and considers him a weak-minded guy who anybody could crush. After Hakkai joined the Tokyo Manji gang, he finally had the chance to face his mighty big brother and take out all of his anger on him. Bro had the guts to punch that monster right in the face before getting brutally beaten. It's notable here how Daiju wasn't enjoying beating down his own brother. This fight was emotional on all levels, and it was hard for us to hold back our tears. But yeah, Daiju really needs a therapist, because his way of showing love for his brother is definitely not normal. 神はまだ私に試練を Next up, we have Ragnar and Jin from Blaze Blue, Alter Memory, an anime series adapted from its fairly popular game counterpart. Both Ragnar and Jin share a complex relationship, deeply rooted in a mixture of rivalry. Though they're siblings, their relationship is far from typical sibling camaraderie. A family tragedy happened and Jin blames Ragnar for that. While Jin can control the element of ice to his will, Ragnar uses a strange and large sword Aramasa, depending solely on his brute strength. Both brothers duke it out in an epic fight that we're unable to take our eyes off. You see, Jin has this nasty habit of getting cocky, and Ragnar knows how to humble people like Jin. So, what happens? The big brother shows the little brother who the real boss is. Jin had been mashing the C button during this fight with his brother and hoping for the best, but hey, no playing with your Nissan or else you get KO'd. We can definitely feel the tension and deep-seated conflict between the two brothers during this fight, which makes it all the more interesting. Ah yes, Baki, the anime that's all about martial arts, muscles, and some of the weirdest characters you've ever come across. You see, Baki, the main character, and his brother Jack share a special kind of rivalry that's backed by mutual respect. Both Baki and Jack clash against each other in order to prove their worth, and boy oh boy, was it intense. Jack wasn't holding back against his brother, even after vomiting out years and years of steroids, prompting Baki to push himself to his limits. This fight really hit us in the heart. Both the brothers are equally matched in terms of strength, but Baki surpasses Jack eventually. We really get to see Baki's impressive fighting skills, and this guy has proved to all of us that he's the boss. Next up, we have an extremely emotionally charged and intense battle between the two brothers Natsu and Zeref. Natsu and Zeref had a tragic fate and history that Natsu had no idea about. They had many similarities as well as differences that made them come across and confront each other. Taking place in the heart of the Alvarez Empire, this battle is one of the best fights in this anime series. Natsu has finally caught wind of his true connection to Zeref, and spoiler alert, they're brothers. And just like any sibling rivalry, this one's about to get out of hand. Natsu's ready to throw down and show Zeref why messing with his guild is a big no-no. On the other hand, Zeref's got a plan to end his curse, and guess what? It involves Natsu, his last hope and greatest obstacle. As they clash, it's not just their powers, but their philosophies and emotions colliding. Natsu's all about living to the fullest, while Zeref's stuck in his endless loop of immortality and misery. Ultimately, Natsu's determination and the power of his bonds and those insanely hot flames wins the day. The rivalry between Meliodas and Zeldris goes way back in history. We're talking about centuries of brotherly drama and ancient grudges here. After Meliodas destroyed the demon clan, both the brothers became estranged. Zeldris believed that Meliodas' betrayal led to the loss of his beloved Gelder, and boy did that ignite a fiery grudge. As both the brothers wanted to become the Demon King, there was a short-lived battle between the two. Right off the bat, Meliodas showed his dominance by restricting Zeldris to the ground. Then, in a surprising twist, Meliodas leaned in and whispered something into Zeldris' ear. Whatever he said must have been mind-blowing, because Zeldris, who was ready to fight to the bitter end, suddenly decided to back down. Now, what exactly did Meliodas say to convince Zeldris to stand down? We'll never know, but we get to see Meliodas' terrifying powers, and that no matter what happens, Zeldris will never surpass him. And when Elizabeth is involved, one should start the countdown of their death. Moving on to Fire Force, we have two brothers whose relationship is a blend of deep emotional conflict as well as rivalry. This fight between the two brothers is one of the best fights in the entire series because of how well it's animated. These two brothers go all out, no holding back, no pulling punches, literally. It's a spectacle of fire versus time manipulation with sparks flying everywhere. It's noticeable that Shinra struggled greatly against his brother and wasn't even able to touch him. But just when it seems like Shinra might be down for the count, he digs deep. With sheer determination and a burst of speed, Shinra manages to turn the tables. His lightning-fast movements evoke memories of their shared childhood, striking a chord in Sho's heart. Day saved. The fight between the brothers is the kind of fight that Fire Force fans won't be forgetting anytime soon. If you're enjoying this video, please give a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Moving on to Code Geass and the brainy battlefield that's the relationship between half-brothers Lelouch and Schneisel.
だからこそあなたに俺はゼロに使いようという言葉をプレゼントしよう。君は最初から私を殺すのではなく。
Both the brothers possess deep-seated differences in ideology, which naturally gives birth to some intense brotherly rivalry. Lelouch, being the black sheep of the Britannian family, wants to overthrow the Britannian Empire. On the other hand, Schneisel, the calm and collected one, always thinks one step ahead of his brother. His poker face is legendary, and he treats political power plays like a walk in the park. For Lelouch, it's personal. The death of his mother and the suffering of his sister fuel his rebellion. Schneisel's motivations are a little bit more cryptic, wrapped in layers of calm detachment and that creepy knowing smile. They face each other in a massive mecha chess game where they're trying to surpass each other's IQ, making it a very exciting battle that keeps us on the edge of our seats. Watching these two, you just can't help but think that they need a really good family therapist, right? Someone to just sit them down and maybe, just maybe, get them to stop trying to out-genius each other for 5 minutes. But then again, where's the fun in that? Next up, we have two brothers who definitely do not need a therapist. Their relationship is of mutual respect, love and admiration. No toxicity going on here whatsoever. The only time they had to throw down was when Ritsu was trying to reason with Mob's question mode. Yep, that mysterious power level where things get super weird and dangerous. Also, during that battle, Ritsu finally unleashed his psychic powers that rivaled his brother's. Now, this was a very proud and happy moment for fans of Ritsu. He really deserved to be blessed with all of that kind of power. Anyway, this short-lived battle is emotional on all levels. It gives us an insight into their relationship that's wholesome on all levels. Also, when two brothers fight to save each other, I mean, is that even really considered a fight? But yeah, we get to see Ritsu's amazing psychic powers for the very first time. It was a satisfying moment for us. The Kageyama brothers showed us that even though things get tough, their love and respect for each other always remains unshakable. Vash and Knives' relationship is like that of oil and water. Both the brothers not only have different personalities, but also different ideologies. This gives birth to an intense brotherly rivalry. Both brothers face each other in an intense battle where they repeatedly fire their guns at each other without holding back. Now, this scene where they're aiming at each other's foreheads, repeatedly pulling the trigger and waiting to see who fires the first round, is probably the greatest scene in this show. What I love about these two brothers is how they're physically polar opposites. Vash is covered in scars from centuries of taking hits to protect others, totally cool with getting beaten up if it means nobody dies. Meanwhile, Knives has a flawless, pristine body, no scars, no marks, and everything is in perfect condition because he wants everyone else dead. He sees himself as a god amongst insects, but let's be real, he doesn't have Vash's tolerance for pain. One shot to his perfect body and he cries like a kid who just scraped his knee. Let's move on to Fist of the North Star and talk about the relationship between the two brothers Kenshiro and Noah, which is a mix of deep familial ties and fierce competition. Kenshiro is the youngest of the four Hokuto brothers and the rightful successor of the Hokuto Shinken martial art. Kenshiro is a man of few words but immense power. On the other hand, Noah, also known as Keno, which is King of Fist, is the eldest of the Hokuto brothers. With a physique that screams perfection and a personality that screams overlord, Noah seeks to conquer the post-apocalyptic world and rule it with an iron fist. What happens when these two men collide then? It's death and destruction everywhere. I loved seeing that arrogant and self-proclaimed King of Fist Noah getting owned by his little brother for a change. I gotta say, Ken mastered Ultra Instinct even before Goku. Also, no one ever did justice to the final technique in martial arts trope like Hokuto no Ken's Musou Tensei, especially in this scene. Ah yes, Goku and Raditz, the two brothers who had a rough start. Their first meeting wasn't a pleasant one, and it was also their last meeting. On one side, we have Goku, our hero with a heart of gold who's all about protecting his family and friends from the forces outside. On the other hand, we have Raditz, a cold and calculated villain who's all about destroying things. He arrives on Earth to recruit Goku for their Saiyan conquest and also to destroy Earth. He also kidnapped Gohan to make matters worse. Goku's not exactly thrilled about all of this and engages in one of the very first and most intense fights that happened in the series. Goku gets some serious beating during this battle as he's up against one of the most powerful creatures in the universe. In the end, Goku pulls off the ultimate big bro move, sacrificing himself to save everyone from Raditz's evil plan. So here's to Goku and Raditz, the brothers who kicked off Dragon Ball Z with a bang. Next up, we have these two brothers from Inuyasha who couldn't be more different if they tried. Sesshomaru is the older brother, a full-blooded demon with a cool demeanor and a powerful sword named Tenseiga. Inuyasha is the younger, half-demon brother known for his fiery temper and his powerful sword Tessaiga. From the get-go, Sesshomaru and Inuyasha have different goals. Sesshomaru seeks power and dominance, often looking down on humans and his half-brother demon. In contrast, Inuyasha struggles with his identity, but ultimately fights to protect his friends and just generally find his place in the world. Their battle against each other was highly emotional and intense. It ended with Inuyasha's victory and Sesshomaru's god complex completely shattered. But hey, credit to Sesshomaru. He's not too proud to learn a lesson or two, is he? Especially when it involves a younger brother who knows how to humble people down. Maybe he finally realized that being the star of the show isn't all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes it's the half demon with the crazy adventures and the even crazier friends who steal the spotlight. This one is an absolute fan favourite because it involves the two brothers from My Hero Academia, Darby and Shoto. On the cool side, we have Shoto Todoroki, trained by his ambitious dad Endeavor to outshine All Might. Shoto's icy hot quirk caused him icy hot trauma. Then on the hotter side, see what I did there, eh? We have Darby, aka Toya Todoroki. He was thought to be dead, but instead he flipped to villainy thanks to Dad's over-the-top hero push. Their fight is one of the most intense brother versus brother fights in all of anime. Now, many fans think that Darby is just the final evolution of who Todoroki used to be if he hadn't met Deku. So Todoroki isn't just fighting his big brother, he's fighting himself. Darby took the quote, "I can see the fire in you," literally. He'll do what it takes to win, even if it means destroying his own body to do it a little extreme, but I shouldn't judge. That burning, raw jealousy and hatred was definitely something. Let's move on to Jujutsu Kaisen and discuss a complicated brotherly relationship between Yuji and Choso. You see, these two aren't blood brothers, they're just half brothers, both the sons of Genjaku. Yeah, it's complicated and weird, but let's just leave it to that, okay? Anyway, let's talk about why this fight happened in the first place. Yuji had killed Choso's brothers in the past, and he possesses deep hatred for him, wanting to avenge his brothers. As soon as Choso sees Yuji, he engages in an intense battle with him. You gotta love how Choso didn't hesitate for a goddamn second. The instant he saw Yuji, he was on him like that, didn't even let him touch the ground. What I absolutely love about this scene is that it's the best hand-to-hand combat fight that's ever animated. Both Yuji and Choso blessed our eyes with their moves and made our jaws drop to the floor. It's the kind of showdown that makes you forget to blink. Can't blame us for being glued to the screen, eh? Next up, we'll talk about an anime where the fate of two brothers is as tragic as the story itself. In the world of Dororo, we meet Hyakimaru, the hero who's literally fighting demons to reclaim his stolen body parts. Meanwhile, his younger brother, Tahomaru, is living the unaware prince life, all set to inherit the family fortune, totally clueless about the creepy deal Dad struck. You see, Hyakimaru sees his brother as a threat to his family, and as he should. That's what ended both the brothers on the battlefield. Their fight's nothing short of spectacular, as we see some of the most gorgeous moves thanks to both of these men. Both brothers were following the paths mapped out for them by their past and their father's sins. Hyakimaru was taking back what was his by birth. No more, no less. Tahomaru was doing his duty as the Lord's heir, but only the younger one could reconsider the past and change his behaviour because, for the elder, it was a matter of survival. Let's talk about two of the most influential characters in Naruto who are also blood brothers. Their relationship could be defined as tragic, intense, and deeply complicated. Sasuke's obsessed with the idea of taking revenge on his brother as he killed the entire Uchiha clan. His intense hatred for Itachi came to the surface when Sasuke met him again. That resulted in a thrilling battle between the two that left a great impact on all Naruto fans. The absolute terror on Sasuke's face when Itachi was slowly approaching him. We all thought that Itachi was seriously going to take his eyes until he shocked us and died on the spot, letting his own brother take his ultra-powerful eyes. This epic showdown isn't just about Sasuke defeating Itachi, it's like one final training session orchestrated by Itachi himself. That forehead tap at the end? It's Itachi passing on his wisdom, showing Sasuke the ropes one last time. He even breaks down the genjutsu tricks for Sasuke, dispels those dark flames, and gives him the lowdown on Susanoo. Oh, and let's not forget he removes Sasuke's curse mark too. Basically, Itachi's testing his brother to the limit in a fight to the finish. And with that, we're wrapping up this list of the top 20 brother versus brother fights in anime. There are a lot of fights like this one, so we must have missed some of your favorites. Don't keep us hanging though. Be sure to comment down below any fights that you think should have made this list. If you enjoyed this video, watch this one on the best rematches in anime. See you in the next one.